shell crashes. Almost immediately, two others. And then it begins in earnest. A bombardment. Machine guns rattle. Now there is nothing for it but to stay lying low. Apparently, an attack is coming. Everywhere the rockets shoot up. Unceasing, I lie motionless. Somewhere something clanks. It stamps and stumbles nearer. All my nerves become taut and icy. It clatters over me and away. The first wave has passed. I have but this one shattering thought. What will you do if someone jumps into your shell hole? Swiftly, I pull out my little dagger, grasp it fast, and bury it in my hand once again under the mud. If anyone jumps in here, I will go for him. It hammers in my forehead. At once, stab him clean through the throat, so that he cannot call out. That's the only way. He will be just as frightened as I am. When in terror, we fall upon one another. Then I must be first. One lands behind us. Some recruits jump up terrified. A couple of minutes later, another comes over, nearer this time. Then it begins in earnest. We crawl away as well as we can in haste. The next lands fair amongst us. Two fellows cry out. Green rockets shoot up on the skyline. Barrage. The mud flies high. Fragments whiz past. The crack of the guns is heard long after the roar of the explosions. It's got someone pretty badly. Cries are heard between the explosions. At last, it grows quiet. The fire has lifted over us and is now dropping on the reserves. We risk a look. Red rockets shoot up to the sky. Apparently there is an attack coming. Where we are is still quiet. I sit up and shake the recruit by the shoulder. All over, kid. It's all right this time. He looks around him dazedly. You'll get used to it soon, I tell him. The dull thud of the gas shells mingles with the crashes of high explosives. A bell sounds between the explosions. Gongs, metal clappers warning everyone. Gas, gas, gas. These first minutes with the mass decide between life and death. Is it airtight? I remember the awful sights in the hospital. The gas patients who lay in day-long suffocation cough up their burnt lungs in clots. Cautiously, the mouth applied to the valve, I breathe. The gas creeps over the ground, like a big, soft jellyfish. Inside the gas mask, my head booms and roars. It is nigh bursting. My lungs are tight. They breathe always the same hot, used-up air. The veins on my temples are swollen. I feel I am suffocating. A bomb or something lands close beside me. I have not heard it coming, and I'm terrified. At the same moment, a senseless fear takes hold of me. Here I am, alone and almost helpless in the dark. Perhaps two other eyes have been watching me for a long while from another shell hole in front of me, and a bomb lies ready to blow me to pieces. I try to pull myself together. It is not my first patrol, and not a particularly risky one. But it is the first since my leave, and besides, the lie of the land is still rather strange to me. I tell myself that my alarm is absurd, that there is nothing at all in the darkness watching me. Otherwise, they would not be firing so low. It is in vain. In whirling confusion, my thoughts hum in my brain. I hear the warning voice of my mother. I still continue to lie in the hollow bowl. I look at the time. Only a few minutes have passed. My forehead is wet. The sockets of my eyes are damp. My hands tremble, and I am panting softly. It is nothing but an awful spasm of fear, a simple animal fear of poking my head and crawling on farther. We must look out for our bread. The rats, the kind we all call corpse rats, have shocking, evil, naked faces, and it is nauseating to see their long, nude tails. They seem mighty hungry, Almost every man has had his bread gnawed. One soldier wrapped his in his waterproof sheet and put it under his head, but he cannot sleep because they run over his face to get at it. Another soldier meant to outwit them. He fastened a thin wire to the roof and suspended his bread from it. During the night, when he switched on his pocket torch, he saw the wire swinging to and fro. On the bread was riding a fat rat. At last, we put a stop to it. We cannot afford to throw the bread away, because then we should have nothing left to eat in the morning. So we carefully cut off the bits of bread that the animals have gnawed. The slices we cut off are heaped together in the middle of the floor. How long has it been? Weeks? Months? Years? Only days. We see time pass in the colorless faces of the dying. We cram food into us. We run. We throw. We shoot. We kill. We lie about. We are feeble and spent, and nothing supports us but the knowledge that there are still feebler, still more spent, still more helpless ones there who, with staring eyes, look upon us as gods that escaped death many times.